Okay, I give up. Pedal demos are getting out of hand now, seriously. And it's got to the point where a pedal demo on YouTube is about as useful as an ashtray on a motorbike. I'll explain why. If you haven't already, leave a like and subscribe and switch on the notifications so you don't miss any new videos. So, pedal demos on YouTube and why I don't trust them anymore. Well, there's a few reasons and I'll get into them. But the first one, I can't believe this, is this. It's Andertons. Now, I like Andertons. I've bought many stuff from Andertons. Their website's great, their customer service is amazing, reasonable prices. They're a great company. I've got no beef with Andertons. And I think the captain is cool. He's a dude. I enjoy his videos. I'm not a big fan of Danish Pete, but that's not why we're here. So recently Marshall released a line of new pedals that give you that Marshall sound. Well, actually some pedals that will give you some Marshall sounds. And Andertons are a music shop and it's their job to sell you gear, including Marshall pedals. And to be honest, they usually use their YouTube channel brilliantly for this. On more than one occasion, I've seen Andertons demo something and then I've bought it right after I've watched the video. It does work. I mean, my Valeton processors, I love those things. That was Andertons. And the way Andertons use their videos to sell you gear should be marketing 101. But this is kind of, I don't even know what to call it. So listen, Andertons have got a warehouse, a big ass warehouse, and it's full of new Marshall pedals. And they want to sell some of these Marshall pedals. They need to sell some, make a bit of room in the warehouse. So they do a demo of the Marshall pedals. To sell the Marshall pedals, a pedal that will make you sound like you're playing through a Marshall. Can you see what's wrong with this video? Can you? They're plugged into a Marshall head. They're sitting on top of a Marshall cab. Now, I'm not being funny. If this pedal didn't sound like a Marshall, then somebody really messed up. I mean, this is the Marshalliest combo of Marshalls you could ever Marshall. Of course it's going to sound like a Marshall. It's coming out of a Marshall. It would be impossible for it to sound like anything else. Now, am I just being dumb here? Am I missing something? Surely, if you've got a Marshall, you are going to want a pedal that makes you sound like you're playing through a Marshall. Because you already have a Marshall, I mean, you are fully marshalled up. I mean, I've got two Marshalls, I enjoy them very much. So I don't feel like I've got any need for a pedal to make me sound like I'm playing through a Marshall. Because I already am. Marshall. So for me, the whole point of these pedals is for people who don't have Marshalls, who want to sound like they do have a Marshall. And that's a great thing. Look, I know not everybody can have a Marshall. They take up a lot of room, even a half stack, and they're heavy. And on top of that, they can be really expensive. But Marshalls are pretty much the sound of nearly every rock classic since the 60s, so I get it. I mean, who doesn't want to sound like that? So a Marshall pedal that makes you sound like you're playing through a Marshall is a brilliant idea. I mean, the pedals look awesome. They're like tiny little Marshalls and they sound great. But if you're a proud Marshall owner, then you sound Marshally already. A better way of demoing this pedal would have been to play it through, I don't know, a Boss Katana or a Fender Mustang, you know, the usual amps that most guitar players have at home or practice through. Let the people without Marshalls see what their amp will sound like with a Marshall pedal in front of it. A Line 6 Spider. That'd be the acid test. If you can make a Line 6 Spider sound like a dual Super Lead Distortion, then you're onto something. You'll sell millions. So yeah, I don't know what Andertons were thinking of here. Now, I know it's the YouTuber's job to make the bit of gear that they're demoing sound as good as possible. Of course, especially if they're trying to sell them. But I think this is cheating. I mean, you hear the Andertons demo and your mind's blown and you order a new Marshall pedal for 120 quid and then it shows up and you plug it into your Gear for Music solid state combo and you've been wondering what the hell went wrong. And that's a big problem. I mean, I'm not singling Andertons out for this. A lot of channels do this. And you've got a dude playing a $2,000 guitar through a $2,000 amp with gold-plated cables that's then recorded it to EQ. It's recorded an EQ to hell and back. And I'm sorry, but I don't think that's a very fair representation of that pedal or whatever bit of gear is being demoed. Now, I know there's a lot of channels on YouTube where the YouTubers try not to fiddle with the sound too much, you know, so you can get a real feel for the bit of gear that they're showing you. And I've got all the respect in the world for those guys. I don't know. I guess it all depends what you want from your YouTube videos. I mean, I know that no one wants to put a video out where everything sounds like crap, so they do their best to make everything sound as good as possible. I get it. But there comes a point where what the YouTubers are showing you just isn't a fair representation of what you will end up with at home. And I know as well that a YouTuber can't cover every base. I mean, this is what a pedal sounds like through 50 different amps or with 50 different guitars. A lot of the time, when you're making videos, you have to work with what you've got lying around you. And then to top it all off, when you upload your video to YouTube, it gets compressed to hell, even the sound. And I find you always lose a bit of quality there. Now, it's not the YouTuber's fault. Or YouTube's, they've got a lot of videos to store. Anyway, I'd love to hear everyone else's thoughts on this. It's probably just me shouting at the sun again, but there you go. Well, that's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. It really helps the video get out there into the algorithm. And don't forget, you can now buy super chats and memberships they help out with the upkeep of the channel. And I've got some merch for sale. I've got t-shirts, hoodies, all kinds of things. Go and check it out. And don't forget, I stream every Wednesday, 9 PM UK time. It's just me and some buddies talking about guitars and stuff. It's a lot of fun. Come and check it out. Anyway, thanks again. Take it easy. Peace out.